Hi Rex, how you doing?
Fine, Patrick. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
All right.
You just introduce yourself a little bit, tell us about what you do and what your specialty is.
My name's Rex Anderson. I am the owner of Rex Anderson PC. We're a law firm specializing in consumer protection law, and specifically we sue abusive and harassing debt collectors. And more recently, we branched off into the area of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, where we're suing both debt collection agencies and telemarketers.
And, what's this TCPA all about?
Well, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act is probably the most popular federal consumer law that's ever been. It is a law that protects our privacy, we the people, our privacy, and allows us to pick and choose how we're going to be contacted by telemarketers and debt collectors.
And what violates this Telephone Consumer Protection Act?
Well, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act consists of three separate sections. The first section deals with calls to cell phones. And any call that you receive on your cell phone, which has been made with the use of an automated telephone dialing system, would violate the act.
Okay.
So Congress is specifically punishing telemarketers and debt collection agencies that are making high volume calls with the use of a robo-dialer.
Okay, so if I get some kind of call on my cell phone out of the blue, someone saying I need to, you owe us a debt, and possibly maybe I don't owe that debt, but they're just harassing me, that would fall under the TCPA.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The other component to calls to a cell phone is that anytime you receive a call to your cell phone that uses an automated message, a pre-recorded human voice message, or an artificial voice message, that automatically violates the TCPA unless you've given them express permission to call you on your cell phone.
Okay, and could you give us a couple examples of maybe some things in recent news or things you've heard or cases you've done of where that's violated the consumers with the TCPA?
Sure. Probably the most recent high-profile case is the case against Papa John's. There's a class action lawsuit against Papa John's for sending out 500,000 unsolicited text messages.
Wow, that's a lot.
Right, and they're asking for $250 million.
Wow, it's a big case then.
These cases are very good cases to have confirmed as a class action case because the damages are statutory.
Okay.
In other words, if the consumer proves that there's been a violation of the TCPA, he or she is entitled to $500 per call and up to $1,500 if the consumer proves that the telemarketer or the debt collector knew and willfully and knowingly made those calls.
So if I told some debt collector that was calling me on my cell phone that, listen, stop calling me on my cell phone, or direct them to some other way to contact me, but they continue to call me on my mobile phone, then that's a violation of my rights.
Well, the cases go both ways. So the best way to revoke consent, if you've ever given consent to be called on your cell phone, would be to put that revocation in writing. Simply send out a letter that says, I'm not sure if I ever gave you or the original creditor permission to call me in the fine print of whatever credit application that I filled out. But if I did, I'm now revoking that consent. Please don't call me at this cell phone number anymore. And then put the cell phone number in. Make sure you keep a copy of that letter and send it out certified and hold on to the green card when it comes back.
So if I did all that, sent a letter to this creditor or this debtor and explained to them, listen, don't call me on this cell phone number. Now, what if they call my residential phone number, if I have one?
Okay, that's a good point, Patrick. The second category of TCPA violations are considered calls to residential lines.
Okay.
Okay, and unfortunately, there's a loophole that the ACA basically made sure that was put into the law that allows debt collection agencies to robo-dial residential phones. And the kicker here is that a debt collector can actually, robo-dial a residential phone, and even if the homeowner doesn't owe the debt, they don't have a cause of action under the TCPA.
Okay.
But they would have a cause of action under the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act if they answered the phone, they told the collector, look, you're calling the wrong person.
Right.
This is a case of mistaken identity.
Sure.
Stop calling me.
Okay.
And if the collector continued to robo-dial or call that person, then they would have a claim under the